One of my favorite Albert Einstein's quotes is, "Education is what remains after we have forgotten all that we learned at school." That's why in this video, we're going to be talking about 10 life lessons that are not taught at school. Are you curious to know what they are? Then let's jump right into it. If this is the first time you're coming across this YouTube channel, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Vic, V to the IC, the face behind Victor Isibo Reviews. Here on this channel, we talk morals, we talk spirituality, we talk life lessons, savings and investments, pretty much everything that makes you a better version of yourself. If stuff like this is what interests you, you may consider subscribing. Turn on the bell notification icon so that you don't miss my subsequent videos. And to my returning subscribers and viewers, salute. It's a pleasure having you back on this channel. Number one, there are two sides to every story, and perspective is key. Now, in history, the history we do at school, you are told a particular narrative and you are meant to stick to that narrative and write it that way in exams. If not, you're going to fail, because exams will not allow you to look at the other side of the coin or do your own personal investigation, get your own facts and write it down in exam. If your teacher says that ABC is the answer to this particular question, if you make your own findings and you discover that the answer is MNO, and you write MNO in your exam, you're going to fail. So the school teaches us to stick to the narrative that we have been told. It doesn't encourage us to make our own findings by ourselves. I'll give you an instance. The 1897 British invasion of the Benin Empire. Now, in the school curriculum for history, I believe that the British version is what is being taught to everybody. But it might interest you to know that the Beninese have their own narratives that is different from the narrative of the British. Now, somebody who believes in the Benin narrative, probably the person is from Benin and the person has access to some historical facts firsthand. The person taking a history course cannot go and write down the Benin version in exams. The person is going to fail. It doesn't matter the amount of proof and first-hand information you have that is contrary to the curriculum, you are going to fail if you write anything contrary. Now, history tells us that Adolf Hitler was a bad guy. But some people may have a contrary opinion of the man Adolf Hitler. Same goes for Muammar Gaddafi. Okay? There are contrary views to certain established facts, and there are always two sides to a coin. This same thing is also applicable in real life. Two people are at loggerheads. You don't hear from one party and believe without consulting with the second party. It is not right. You have to be able to understand that there are two sides to a coin. You must hear both sides of the story, weigh them before you make your suggestions and you draw your conclusions. So this is a life lesson that school doesn't teach us. Schools teach us one narrative and they expect us to stick to that narrative and write it down during the exams so that we don't fail. Okay, so that takes me to life lesson number 2 that is not taught at school. Everything is not about you. Yes, I think if we all adopt and understand this very simple statement, the world will be a better place to live in. Everything is not about you. The world does not revolve around you. Now, we have the temptation to think that the world revolves around us because we are seeing the world through our own very eyes. Okay? So now, I'll give you a little instance. There was a day a very close friend of mine, we were working together, a very close friend of mine, we used to talk a lot. All of a sudden, he started giving me attitude. You know, when we would meet, I would expect us to have our usual conversations over breakfast because we were working in a camp. But he always walked past me after saying hi, hello. He would walk past me. You know, I went back to my room at close of work thinking to myself, oh, I guess I offended this guy. Or did he hear something I said about him? Is someone lying to him about me? You know, I was thinking that the problem was from me. You know, thank God I did not go ahead to start telling people that he has a problem with me. What did I do? I walked up to him one day and I asked him, anything the matter? Did I do something wrong? Then the guy told me that he got news from home that his mom had been critically ill and on admission at the hospital. You see, it wasn't about me at all. He had family problems, he had family issues. This thing happens in relationships too and in marriages. Your spouse might be going through a rough patch and they are moody and they are not happy because of maybe something happening in their career or something happening within their social circle that has nothing to do with you. So instead of you to have that conversation with them, find out what's wrong with them and look for a way to maybe console them or comfort them. Most times we add salt to the injury by personalizing the issue. Oh, you don't want to talk to me. Oh, you're keeping malice with me. It must be that other person you're dating out there. Oh, you've started cheating on me. Now I disgust you. You know, we start making up ideas in our head. You know, this is not taught at school, but it is very important for us to know that life is not all about us. Do you know that you can wear the same shirt to a public gathering every day and nobody would notice? Because everybody has thoughts in their heads. Everybody is thinking that the world is about them. Everybody is preoccupied about themselves. So much so that they don't even take notice of you. But in our heads, we'll be like, oh, I wore this shirt yesterday. If I wear it again today, somebody is going to notice and they're going to make an issue out of it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, you know. Nobody cares. Everybody is preoccupied with themselves. Thinking in your head that the whole world revolves around you is called egocentric bias. And it is not true. It's just an illusion. It's just in your head. Lesson number 3. Good friends are good to have around. Yeah, you may be a loner, or you may be someone who likes to move solo. That may be good, but having good friends around you is always better. Okay, when you have successes, you know, the celebration is better with good friends around you. And when you have challenges, the comfort is better when you have good friends around you. Now, the cases of suicide are always with people that are loners. Okay, when you are depressed and you are alone, you start having suicidal thoughts. But people who have good friends around them, they are mostly comforted and their spirits are lifted in the face of challenges. Now, when you have challenges and you have problems, your mind may be lying to you, telling you it's the end of the world. But good friends will always come to you and tell you that they have been through something worse, and they will give you instances of people that have been through something worse and have come out stronger. So it is always good for you to have good friends around you. Life lesson number 4. Your happiness depends 100% on you. Your happiness doesn't depend on any other person. If you decide that your happiness is going to be dependent on your spouse or your friend, then you're also giving them the power to make you unhappy. So your happiness is your responsibility, and happiness is a choice. Happiness is not based on what you have or what you don't have. Happiness is being contented with what you have. So happiness is not about having so much or so less. That is why the richest people are not necessarily the happiest people in the world. Okay, so your happiness is within you. It comes from within you. You are responsible for your happiness. If you put other people in charge of your happiness, then they also have the power to make your life miserable. Life lesson number 5. Your job doesn't define you. Now, what am I trying to say? The fact that law is a trending profession, the fact that engineering is a trending profession, it doesn't mean that you would be happy being a lawyer. it doesn't mean that you would be happy being an engineer. Now, this advice is for all youth, young people who are at the threshold of deciding their careers. We know several times our parents and our friends and family want to have an input as per the course we're going to study, but you must make that decision for yourself. You must make that decision because the course you study may eventually lead you into your career, your 9-to-5 career. You don't want to be working 9 to 5 every weekday of your life at a job that you do not love. You don't want to be scared of Monday mornings because somebody thinks that, oh, this is an awesome career. I've seen people who studied medicine, graduated, dumped their certificate, and went into acting. A lot of musical artists and movie stars actually studied the so-called lucrative courses at their universities, but look at what they're doing today. So do not let people tell you that your career is going to define you, that you should choose a career that is lucrative. That decision must come from within. You are the master of your life, and you should ask yourself, what profession would you be glad to go to on a typical working day? That should be the one you should go for. Lesson number 6, independence is liberating. Now, independence is everything. When you have to do things on your own terms, when you are free to be creative and have ideas of your own, it's always very, very, satisfying. It's liberating. But this is not something that is emphasized at school. Most times, schools teach us to be dependent on our teachers, on our parents, on our colleagues, on our bosses. That's why you see typical hardcore school products are always looking to go into the labor market to work for a boss. Okay, school does not really celebrate independence where you graduate from school and you take the bull by the horns and you become an entrepreneur. Okay, so independence is liberating. I believe that whatever country you are watching me from, Independence Day is a public holiday because that is when you begin to take control of your life. That is when you begin to take decisions for yourself. That is when you begin to manage your own space and you be your own boss. Okay, there are so many people working 9 to 5 that are independent people, but they are dependent temporarily because they do not have the resources to become independent yet. So those people have a plan to become independent later on. There's nothing wrong with working from 9 to 5. If you do not have the capital yet, if you do not have the experience yet. Okay, so what I have a problem about is working 9 to 5 without any plans of being on your own. You want to do it for the rest of your life. That's what I have a problem with. Lesson number 7. Failure is not something to be scared about. Now, the school system has a grading system, and many schools even have a positional grading system. After exams, they will say this person came first, this person came second, this person came third, and this person came last. And when the parents go to the school to get the child's results, they see this grading and they start flogging the child that came at a position that is not so good. What this grading system does to the child is it puts the fear of failure in the child. You mustn't fail your exam. You must come out with an A or a B. You must come out with a distinction. If you fail, I'm going to flog you. I'm not going to buy you biscuit. I'm not going to buy. So in the formative years of children, they get to learn the fear of failure, forgetting that in real life, failure is an essential ingredient of success. There's a quote that I always like to mention, that the successful people that we envy and we look up to, they have failed more times than we have tried. So failure is not something to be scared about. Okay, if you do not get the blessing, you will get the lesson, and sometimes the lesson is what you need to propel yourselves to the blessing. Okay, so failure is not something to be scared about. You have nothing to lose. I tell you for free, the fear of failure has been the reason that many people never try, and as such, they never succeed. Trying gives you a 50-50 chance at succeeding at something. Not trying at all gives you 0% chance at success. So it's okay to try. Life lesson number 8. Sometimes collaboration is better than competition. Now, the school teaches us to compete. Oh, he came first. I'm going to try to come first and beat him next semester. Okay, so the school system is essentially competitive. Now, sometimes collaboration is better. Now, I don't know what your skill sets are, but I know that you are not 100% at everything you need. Now, you may want to do a business. You may be experienced at the practical aspect of a business. Maybe you have a skill, but you may be deficient when it comes to marketing. So you may be needing the help of a friend or an acquaintance who is very good at marketing to handle the marketing aspect of your business while you focus on the technical aspect. See, there's sometimes we achieve more when we work hand in hand. Like they say, 2 good heads are better than 1. Life lesson number 9. Food and sleep are like medicine. Now, at school, I believe that when we are stressed out trying to get a job done, what the teacher will tell you to do is to power through it. Come on, go ahead, power through it. You have to do it. You have to, they become motivational speakers pushing you to achieve more, to go the distance and do all that. But sometimes in real life, when we are powering through something, maybe a difficult task or a difficult situation, there's a tendency for us to break down. So instead of having a breakdown, sometimes you take a few steps backwards. Okay? Go to sleep. It's okay for you to be in the middle of something and nothing seems to be working. You can go to sleep, relax, take a break. Now, sleep and food, they are therapeutic. Now, when you sleep and you wake up refreshed, fresh ideas would come into your head, and that may help you to solve that difficult task. It's not all about powering through it all the time. That if you're powering through something that is difficult persistently, you're not thinking clearly. You just want to force the thing to happen, and it doesn't work that way. Sometimes you need to go back, re-strategize, relax, refresh yourself so that fresh ideas will come into you. And sometimes when you're feeling down, you may be exhausted. Food is going to do the magic in that case also. So it's not all about powering through things. Sometimes you need to take a few steps back, have a good sleep, eat something good, be refreshed. You become more energetic, enthusiastic, and with fresh ideas to tackle that particular problem. Life lesson number 10. Life is not fair. Life is not fair. And the sooner we got used to this, the better and easier life would be towards us. Okay? If you understand that the fact that you read and prepared for your exams doesn't mean that you would necessarily pass the exams, the easier life would be for us. Many people are becoming paranoid because things are not working for them. They feel targeted. They feel that there's an unseen force that is out to frustrate them. You're not that special, bro. You're not that special, sis. There are lots of people in this world that good things are not happening to. Okay, good things don't always happen to good people. Okay, you need to understand that you cannot always get everything you deserve. You need to understand that there will be people that you are more intelligent than that will have more money than you. You need to understand that there are people that you are more decent than that will have better spouses than you. You need to understand that there are people that are less religious than you that nature and life will smile more at. So you need to understand that the fastest runner doesn't always win the race. You need to understand that the strongest man doesn't always win the battle. That is the way life is. So when you have this understanding, you will now be happier. You will no longer feel targeted. That feeling of paranoia leaves you because you know that, well, that's the way life is. I hope you learned something from these 10 life lessons that are not taught at school. If you did, give this video a like so that the YouTube algorithm will recommend it some more. Share it with everyone who needs to know and watch this video. Till I see you next time with another one, I remain Victor Esibo. It's bye for now.